do on your front cover sheet, we've got a little bit of self-reflecting to do. So for 7-3, our direction or our I can statement says I can multiply mixed numbers. I want you to think back to multiplying mixed numbers and do some reflecting. How did you feel about multiplying mixed numbers? And I also want you to think back to 7-4, I can divide fractions. That is what you guys started a couple days ago, and we reviewed it yesterday, so do some self-reflecting. How do you feel about dividing fractions? And what was the process that we learned to divide fractions? It starts with a K. KCF, or keep, change, flip. Yep. Or you could say, very good, you could say KCFCS, absolutely. And then for today, we are still working with division. So it says I can divide, but what are we dividing today? Mixed numbers. Yep, so go ahead and shade in to see it there. Today's lesson is all about dividing mixed numbers. And once you shade in that see it, you can flip to your 7-5 notes for me, please. Our very last section. There are a lot. We're not going to get through all the chapters in the book this year. We go through the ones that are the most important that align with the standards we have to meet. And I want you to take a look at the blanks right here for step 1. Change the blank blank to blank blank. And raise your hand if you think you know what goes on those lines. And if you need to, take a look down here at our first example. What do you think you would have to do first in order to divide these fractions? You're on the right track, yes. Change the mixed number to improper fractions. Love that vocabulary as well. We're changing our mixed numbers to improper fractions. So that's going to be our very first step, is to take our mixed numbers, write them as improper fractions. After we do that, it's just simply a division problem, just like we worked with yesterday. So we have to divide the fractions. And raise your hand if you think you know what goes on the blank for step 3. Very good. And then simplify if possible. Even if the directions don't say to, you should always simplify. And then in our notes here, we have 2 practice problems that I want to do together. And then I want to do at least one from the worksheet, and then I'll give you your homework. So for step 1, we have to change our mixed number into improper fractions. So my mixed number here is 4 2/5. Who can raise their hand and explain to me, how do I rewrite 4 2/5 as an improper fraction? Raise your hand nice and Ryan, go ahead. Very good. Go ahead and write a multiplication symbol between the 4 and the 5. We're going to multiply our denominator 5 times our whole number 4. And what do we get there? What's 4 times 5? Anybody can just say it. What's 4 times 5? 20. Good. And then add your numerator. What's 20 plus 2? 22. So that fraction is now 22/5. So I have 22/5 divided by, I'm going to keep my division symbol for right now, because right now I'm just changing them to improper. Who can raise their hand and write 12 as a fraction for me? 12 is a whole number, but I like to write my whole numbers as fractions so I can see my cross canceling. 12 over, I couldn't quite hear you. Did you say 12 over 1? Awesome. So we're going to write that as 12 over 1. That's step 1. We just changed the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Now when we divide fractions, we reviewed yesterday, we have to keep, change, flip. So do me a favor and write a KCF above those fractions. All right, we're going to do our crowd response. I want everybody nice and awake and ready. You need to keep your first fraction the same. Not too bad. Keep your first fraction the same. So go ahead and keep the 22/5 for me, please. We need to change division to multiplication. Good. And then we flip our second fraction, or we write the reciprocal of 12 over 1. Well, what's the reciprocal of 12 over 1? 1 over 12. So we're going to write that as 1 over 12. Raise your hand if you see some cross canceling. I like to cross cancel because cross canceling makes it easier to simplify. Okay, I should see at least some hands in here. There's cross canceling for sure for this one. How about this? Show me at your chest what number can I factor out of both 22 and 12. Show me at your chest so I know everybody's following along. What's a number that 22 and 12 can both get divided by? A lot of people show me the number 2. Go ahead and cross off the 22. What's 22 divided by 2? 11. Good. What's 12 divided by 2? 6. Now, we can't cross cancel the 5 and the 1, so we can multiply. In our numerator, what's 11 times 5? 11 times 1? 11. And in our denominator, what's 5 times 6? 30. Very good. So our answer here is 11/30ths. And you cannot simplify very good. No simplification necessary. Let's take a look at this next one right here. Who can raise their hand and help me with the first step? I have 3 1/7 divided by 13/14. Take a look at the directions at the top if you need to. Take a look at step 1. And I should see more than 2 hands in the air. You can do it. I want everybody thinking about it. I'm going to have you partner up in just a moment and talk about it. So think about what your first step is. And turn and tell your table partner. What are you going to do first? Good. I heard at least 2 tables say change the mixed number to improper fractions. So let's go ahead and do that. You're going to multiply 7 times 3. So go ahead and put your multiplication symbol there. And what is 7 times 3? 21 plus 1 is 22/7 divided by the 13/14 is already a fraction, so we're going to leave it the same. So 22/7 divided by 13/14. And now what do? We divide, and what process do we follow for division? Yep, keep, change, and flip. Yep, KCF. So go ahead, and I want everybody to keep your first fraction the same. Pretty good. Keep your first fraction the same, all right? Change division to multiplication. And then go ahead and flip your second fraction for me. 14/13. Nice job. Now, I told you guys yesterday, my 7th graders like to call it KCFC, because now they look for cross canceling. Give me a thumbs up if you see some cross canceling. Thumbs down if you don't see any cross canceling. Thumbs up, thumbs down for cross canceling. There is cross canceling. Yeah, what can we factor out of a 7 and a 14? 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So now we can multiply. 22 times 2 is 44. And 1 times 13 is 13. Who can help me out from there? KCFCS tells me to simplify. Very good. How many times can 13 go into 44? 3. All right. I like the 3. 3 times. And then 13 times 3 is 39. So how many more are left over to get up to 44? 5 more. So 3 and 5 13ths.